Welcome to Super's Grammar class. Classification of verb continues. Verbs, lexical and auxiliary. That means the entire verbs in English can be divided into two. Lexical verbs and auxiliary verbs. Lexical verbs are otherwise called main verbs. Auxiliary verbs are otherwise called helping verbs. So lexical verbs or main verbs and auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Today we are going to study more about the second category, that is auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Whom are they helping? Why are they called helping verbs? See, helping whom? Do they help a noun or pronoun or adjective? No. They help verbs. So helping verbs or auxiliary verbs are those verbs which help other verbs. So the question is, why do they help other verbs? Why can't the other verbs stand by themselves? Why can't they stand on their own feet? Why do they need help? In order to change the tense form of a verb, it needs the help of auxiliary verb. So auxiliary verbs help lexical verbs, or we can say main verbs, to change their tense forms. So that is the main function of auxiliary verbs, and that is why they are called auxiliary verbs. I hope all of you understood it. Now I shall make it clear with the help of a few examples. Look at the first pair of verbs, go, goes. These two verbs are used to denote an action which takes place now or at present. They go to school means they go to school now. She goes to school means the same. So go and goes are simple present verbs. Look at the second pair, call, calls. They are also used to represent a sentence or to denote a sentence in present tense, an action which takes place now. Study, studies are also simple present verbs. So in order to make a sentence or in order to say a sentence in simple present tense, we do not need or we do not seek the help of any auxiliary verbs. Look at the first pair once again, go, goes. In the second verbal form, we added or we suffixed only es. We didn't seek the help of any auxiliary verbs. Same is the case with the second pair. We added only yes. And in the third, instead of y, we suffixed ies. That's all. We haven't sought the help of any auxiliary verb. So simple present tense. In order to frame a verb in simple present tense, we never seek the help of helping verbs or auxiliary verbs. Okay. Now look at the verbs on the right side. Went, go, goes, went. Went is the past form. Is the simple past form of go and goes. So whenever you want to say an action in past, you have to depend on went. Went is the past form of go and goes. There also, in order to frame the past tense, it did not depend on any auxiliary verb. Look at the second pair, call, calls, present form. Its past form is called. Same is the case with the third pair also, study, studies. In order to become past, the word study, the verb in present tense study, removed y and suffixed ied. That's all. It did not seek the help of any auxiliary verb. What do you understand from this? Simple present tense and simple past tense do not seek the help of any auxiliary verb. In other words, we can say simple present and simple past can be formed or can be framed without the help of auxiliary verbs. Got it? Do you know how many tense forms are there in English? How many tenses are there in English? There are 12 tenses. There are 12 tenses. Out of that, a simple present and a simple past are 2. So 12 minus 2, that is 10. Remaining 10. The remaining 10 tense forms are framed with the help of auxiliary verbs. That is why I told you in the beginning that auxiliary verbs are helping verbs, or auxiliary verbs are otherwise called helping verbs, and they are used to frame tenses. So in order to frame the remaining 10 tense forms, we need the help of auxiliary verbs. Okay, now you see, I have been repeatedly saying auxiliary verbs, auxiliary verbs, auxiliary verbs. What are these auxiliary verbs? What are these auxiliary verbs? Yes, now we are going to see these auxiliary verbs one by one. Okay, look at those on the left side: is, am, and are. Is, am, and are. Now look at the sentences. I am a teacher. I am a teacher. In that sentence, you know, I is a pronoun. First person pronoun we have already studied. Teacher. Teacher is a noun. And a, the word a qualifies teacher, so it is an adjective. So I, it's a pronoun. Teacher, noun. A, adjective. In a sentence, there must be a verb. So in this sentence also there must be a verb, and which is the verb am. My question is, does this verb support any other verb in this sentence? No. No other verbal forms are there. Only am is here. So in this sentence, am is used as a main verb. It stands as a main verb. I hope you got. Now look at the second sentence. I am teaching English grammar. I am teaching English grammar. Look at the subject. I, it's a pronoun. Grammar, you know, it's a noun. English, that word qualifies grammar, so it is adjective. And you know, English is a proper noun, so we can call it a proper adjective that we have already studied. So which is the verb? Am teaching is the verb in this sentence. Look at the sentence once again. I, that is subject, it's a pronoun. Grammar, noun. English, adjective. So which is the verb? Am teaching is the verb. Here, look at the verb teach. In order to make its continuous form, it has accepted ing. And when the root verb or the main verb teach accepted ing, it lost its verbal form. It became a half verb or 1/3 verb or 2/3 verb. And in order to become a full verb, or in order to become a verb which can stand on its own feet, it depended on am. So here am is helping teaching, the verbal form teaching. So am is used as an auxiliary verb. Look at the first sentence once again. I am a teacher. There the verb am is not helping any verbal form in that sentence, so it is used as a main verb. Whereas in the second sentence, the verbal form teaching has no independent existence, so it sought the help of am. So am is used as an auxiliary verb. So am is an auxiliary verb. At the same time, it is a main verb also. Okay, now look at another example. Look at this example. She is my sister. She is my sister. She, subject, it's a pronoun. Sister, you know, it's noun. And my is a pronoun, but here it is used as adjective. My sister, it's a possessive adjective. So she, pronoun, sister, noun, my adjective. So there is only one verb, is. In this sentence, is not supporting any other or helping any other verb. Look at the second sentence. She is working in a private bank. Here, working. Work can stand by itself, but working cannot. And is supporting that verb. Here, is supports the ing form of work in order to frame a full verb, or in order to make it a full verb. So in the second sentence, is used as an auxiliary verb. It is helping the verbal form working. Okay, now look at another. Have a look at these sentences. They are friends. So in this sentence, are is the verb and it stands independently. It is used as a main verb. Look at the second sentence. They are working for this firm. In this sentence, are is supporting working. The verbal form working. Are working. Why? Look at this sentence. They are friends. In this sentence, are is used as an independent verb. It stands independently. It's not helping any other verb. Whereas in the second sentence, they are working for this firm. Are is supporting the verbal form working in order to make it a present continuous verb. So in order to change the tense form of work, are is supporting that verb. So in the second sentence, the verb or the auxiliary verb are is used as auxiliary verb, whereas in the first verb it is used as main verb. And from this we can infer that is, am and are can be used as main verbs as well as auxiliary verbs. I hope you got it. Look at the verbs on the left side. Was and were. Was and were. Was the past form of is, am. Were the past form of are. She was here. She was here. In this sentence, she is a pronoun. Here we haven't studied, it's an adverb. Was is the only verb. So in the first sentence, was is the verb and it stands independently. Look at the second sentence. In order to make the verb a past continuous one, it sought, the verbal form sought the help of was. So in the second sentence, was is used as an auxiliary verb to frame the past continuous tense form of do. She was doing degree. She was doing degree. Doing. It can't stand by itself. It can't stand by itself and it can't make continuous tense by itself. It needs the help of an auxiliary verb. Here was is supporting that verb. Was is helping the verb to make its past continuous form. So was is used as an auxiliary verb. In the first sentence, it stands independently, whereas in the second sentence, was is used as an auxiliary verb. Okay, now another example. Now look at the second sentence. They were preparing for exam. They were preparing for exam. In this sentence, in order to make the past continuous form of prepare, where is helping the verb. So in the second sentence, where is used as an auxiliary verb. It helps the verb prepare to frame its past continuous form. Whereas in the first sentence, that is, they were friends, the verb were is used as an independent verb. So from here we understand that where, the verb where, can stand as independent verb and also as auxiliary verbs. So we have seen 5 verbs. Am I right? Is, am, are, was, and were. These are the first 5 verbs which belong to the family of auxiliary verbs. Though they belong to the family of auxiliary verbs, they can stand independently. They can stand by themselves. And there are such verbs. There are such verbs in the family of auxiliary verbs. Such verbs means such auxiliary verbs which can stand independently as well as helping verbs. And such auxiliary verbs are called primary auxiliaries. Such auxiliaries are called primary auxiliaries. And we shall study more about these primary auxiliaries, and we shall include more and more in the family of primary auxiliaries in the coming classes. Okay, so for the time being, that's all. See you in the next class with the continuation of auxiliary verb. Bye.